Welcome everybody. NICO, Scarlet Moon here with your Pathwatchers report on the incoming wave that will be here to stay for all individuals, collectives, and experiences. This week's wave, personified by the Death card and the Devil, illustrates the elimination of entrapment. While these cards may appear frightening, it is not so. Remember not to oversimplify or split into black and white dualistic thinking. You might even interpret this combination to represent the death of the demon, if that is more comforting. As March draws to a close, there is an enactment of a great release in the spirit of the displacement wave. The Devil, representing here as the binds of attachment, tethers to detrimental, detractive influences, is eliminated. Remember, death is an end we accept as a natural, understandable, and even necessary process, bringing neither surprise nor shock. Considering the elimination of soul contracts commencing, it's no surprise that the attachment mechanic is now terminated. This wave is easing acceptance of transitions that have been resisted either by the self or by others. This is a freedom combination. The means by which certain beings would attach, control, or bind themselves to another are no longer functioning in the way they once did. The support for that dynamic and mechanic is now obliterated on a multidimensional level. Control patterns, spiritual attachments, social and environmental scripts no longer attract or maintain in this new dynamic. They don't manifest anything anymore. There may be some emotional and psychological aftermath in the short term, but only for the short term. This energy is no sloth. Some may not be prepared for such an eventuality, even if it is starting a huge ripple into true soul empowerment. Remember, it is healing. It is more than a mass cord cutting between all things. It is an obliteration of the cord attachment mechanic. The power of creation, manifestation, and all spiritual work has always been quality over quantity. As this lands and keeps, it will become much more easy and available for all to step in to their own personal power. This is true freedom in the highest interest of all concerned. This is autonomy by release. Freedom to embody the highest expressions of self more than ever. Freedom to embody love and divinity in its pure form. And so it is. All right, Sagittarius, now that we've had a chance to look over the incoming wave that is, remember, here to stay, as well as for all people, right? Not just one sign. Let's have a look and see what is playing out for you this week as a result of this wave landing. How is it landing for you? Well, for your archetypal themes, we actually have the Magician upright. And this card has been coming up so much for everybody this week. You had it, a couple of other people had it. And what I'm actually getting, though, is, again, everyone's getting a unique message from this card, right? That's how cards work. There's not just one message you copy and paste over and over again. And it does look like there's something coming through about sort of having everything that belongs to you actually be yours. That's the thing about the Magician. We're talking about ownership of power, but also ownership of resources, ownership of credit, ownership of authority, ownership of one's own life and one's own life stream. And with the archetypal themes of the Magician, I kind of feel like a lot of you Sagittarius people, especially since, in regards to what we just talked about with the incoming wave, are getting a chance to sort of have a life to live that was not, maybe all about something else, right? Because sometimes, especially if, depending on where you come from or what kind of family you're coming from or what kind of situation you're trying to move past, it can almost be like your whole life is centered around something else, someone else, or something in the past. And the Magician is like, no, we're not doing that now. what if you got to live your life as though you were not bound or tethered, severed tethers, to, another circumstance that ultimately was, not in service to all concerned. This is an interesting energy because in the focus of the freedom of the incoming wave, we also see you stepping into a place where you're actually realizing a great deal of power, a great deal of opportunity, and a great deal of resources that maybe on some level you either kept from yourself, you maybe dispersed among too many people, too many priorities, maybe giving your all to maybe a certain circumstance in your family or a family member or an old love or an old career. The magician is trying to correct that, right? Because there's an issue here. There's an imbalance here. Take a good hard look. You're getting a chance to live a life as though that other thing, was able to do it all by itself and not really have anything to do with you as far as you and your energy, your resources, your time, your space, your existence. And so that is a restoration of power, right? That's a reclamation. That's calling back energy and activity, if I ever heard of it. And that's a big deal this week going on behind all things. You're going to be feeling a powerful boost, a powerful return, right? And that's, again, we just talked about the incoming wave. Well, what are we doing, right? That's what this energy was all about. It's about getting a restoration underway. In fact, with news and arrivals, we've got the Four of Cups in reverse. And we do have something kind of breaking you away from a tie that binds, yes, but also maybe even something that has been absorbing too much space in your life. Because the Four of Cups reversed, right, it's all about the end of a routine. But what's interesting about this is that not only are we breaking a mold, but we're actually able to see or pinpoint something that has been preventing us from making room for anything else in our life. And this could, yes, with the Four of Cups reversed, be maybe a shift when it comes to family connections, friend connections, or maybe even pastimes, things that we're doing creatively, where we're directing our energy, what's taking up too much time and space, what has maybe been blocked or delayed in terms of coming to you or developing for you. And this is a week where I'm thinking with the Four of Cups reversed, maybe it's with the help of another person shattering that tie or shattering that loop or that cycle, that we really actually have a new opportunity. Because remember, we're still in the displacement energy. That's here to stay as well. We talked about that about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember which one. I never remember. But with the Four of Cups in reverse, it does look like a turning point for you. It does look like this displacement is coming in, like, see what you could have had all along. See what you could have had all along. And it's not a tease. It's see what you could have had all along. Here you go. Now, moving on to material and business, well, we actually have the Four of Swords upright. And yeah, things are kind of quieting down in this area, but I don't want anyone to take that as a stressful thing. Because one of the things I'm kind of pulled to with this Four of Swords is the fact that, yes, the girl is resting, she's chill, meditating, sleeping, there's not a lot of activity around her. It might not be a very active week in terms of business. It might not be a very active week in terms of negotiations and all kinds of things like that. But she's cradling one of these swords. And so it makes me think, okay, now there is something to focus on. She has chosen to exchange her energy with one idea, with one focus, thus crystallizing it. She is not inundated with 1,000,001 other obligations. She's dropping a lot of responsibilities she's taken on for other people. Sometimes we're almost conditioned to be another person's codependent, right, in a lot of ways. And that this could happen in business. It doesn't have to just be family or love stuff. Sometimes it can happen in business. Sometimes that kind of grooming can happen. Well, not anymore, right? No more. That's done. Gone. And with the Four of Swords, there is time. There is time for either a financial, professional, or creative priority to have its day in the sun while everything else is quieting down, while everything else is chill, everything else is sort of relaxed on the back burner. You're actually going to see another opportunity or a dream assignment or maybe even a new project, a new business opportunity, whatever's going on, more of a financial thing as well. Sort of having its glimmer, right? It's having its chance to, be a rising star. So allow yourself to take that on. Moving on to love and relationships, well, we actually have the Nine of Wands in reverse, and it's a wonderful week for intimacy. It's a wonderful week for closeness, because with the Nine of Wands in reverse, what I'm actually getting is a partner, or maybe somebody, new-ish, is ultimately going to be dropping either a pretense or a protection of their own. And this is a very interesting thing to see unfold, because with that protection, that pretense, it could be them sharing something very deep and very important, but also at the same time, they're choosing not to protect or maintain something that is proven to be harmful to themselves, and perhaps even vicariously, potentially not so great for you. And what I like about the Nine of Wands reverse, there is this air of kind of dropping it. Right? We are dropping it. We're letting go of something that nobody has any business holding on to anymore or trying to hold up anymore. It's attacks on the relationship, or maybe each person individually in their own way. And with the Nine of Wands reversed, it's kind of like a partner or a crush is opening their heart. They're sharing things that they don't normally share. They're bringing you into their more, their deeper, more private spaces, and it does look like, in a lot of ways, this is a new dynamic to bring into the relationship. We might think that we're close now, but even they're also stopping the censorship of themselves, and I think that's important. Now, you might hear them say some things about either themselves or maybe even friends that you guys have mutually, or even family circumstances. And people are kind of taking the gloves off, but I feel like this is still really, really good, because it's kind of encouraging both of you to be brave enough not to try and hold up a reality that is crumbling, or hold up something that is inherently, damaging, to both of you. Give yourselves your best chance by allowing yourselves to confront these truths and, do what's best for you guys. With the Nine of Wands reversed, this open-hearted sharing always comes with a great deal of raising of the vibration when it comes to the emotional currency itself being pure and genuine. So it's a wonderful, intimate week. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.